start to me, financially today, and qualifying for Europe as of right for Chelsea makes a big difference, doesn't it?
All their budgets will be set up for them being in Europe.
Nice to see it's proper stuff going in the cup, of course.
Yes, it was. There's our man there, Fraser.
It is Ray. He's not making as many laps on that Stamford Bridge pitch as he used to, is he? Because he's put a bit of timber on, look.
But I think it's obvious their budgets would have been laid out for them qualifying for European competition. They've done that. They've got lots of big players there on big salaries.
So that's classy, Ray Wilkins. Most dressing rooms you get in, the champagne's going off by now, isn't it? He's pouring it, look, very carefully, decanting the champagne on the cup. Here we go. That's better. That's better. Alex Ferguson said when they won the championship up there, made specific mention of it, Andy, to the players. Enjoy it. Make sure you enjoy it. That's important, isn't it?
And you have to, even for, as we were saying, these guys, they've been World Cup winners and everything else that they've done in the game. It's still a great day to come here and win this particular match. It just gives you marvellous memories of.
Do you absorb it? And does the manager want you to because you want to come back for more then?
Well, it all goes too quickly. The day goes too quickly. And I don't know if you go back to before the programme, they spoke to Billy Bonds, Martin Buchan and others who have played in more than one cup final, and they all said the second time there was a better time, the one they enjoyed more. And it's because the first one passes by. Yeah. These days go too quickly. And those players have been out there longer than I've seen any team remain on the pitch. And why not? This is a special day. Winning the FA Cup is a special day. You want to make the most of it.
Here we go.
Let's go and get a line with Ray Wilkins. A cagey Ray Wilkins. He's
Ray, you're putting out the champagne. All of a sudden, it's not such a bad season after all for Chelsea, is it?
I never thought it was before, Jeff, to be perfectly honest. I thought we've had a fantastic season, but it's others that seem to think we've had a poor season. But I think it's been a magnificent season, I've got to say.
I think it's going to mess your hair up, what little there is of it.
I'm not really too concerned, to be honest. It's a good day.
What was the difference in the second half? You seem to really come on strong.
No, we felt in the first half that perhaps we hadn't gone at the game as quick as we should have done. So at half time we got into the players to step the tempo up. Then whenever we played at some sort of tempo, we caused them a problem, and that was basically what we tried to achieve in the second half.
All of a sudden, Ray, it's no into Toto. There's no problem with team spirit. It's all smiles again, isn't it?
Well, I've got to say, there's never been a problem with team spirit, Jeff. As you can see, it's a magnificent bunch of guys, and of course that's got to be Wisey stirring up a bit of aggro at the back there. But they're a great bunch of fellas. They've worked really, really hard, and compliments to them, really.
Look, typical of the French, they're covering up their suits so they don't get wet.
Yeah, well, they've all aimed them at my suit. So my suit is knackered at the moment, Jeff, over there. As yours is, my friend. That's to be said.
Well, to be fair, you didn't look too good in yours, but well done, Ray.
Thanks very much indeed, pal.
It's only just started, hasn't it? It'll go on for a long time yet. Chelsea, cup winners. No argument on the day. Just the one goal separated the two teams, but there was a bit more than that, wasn't there?
As Razor said, they stepped the tempo up in the second half. There was periods in the second half where Villa couldn't get out their own half. Yeah. And it's all about, if you keep giving the ball away, sooner or later, they're going to hurt you. And I think that's what Villa will be guilty of. But in saying that, this pitch suited Chelsea. This pitch suited them down to the ground.
I think Jeff's selling as he's got Robbie Di Matteo, hasn't he? Go on, Jeff.
Robbie, you must love this stadium. That's 3 finals, 3 goals, 3 wins. Surely you don't want them to knock it down.
Yeah, it's such a shame that they're going to knock it down, isn't it? I'm so sad about this.
Perhaps all your money you could put in an offer to buy it.
I wish, yeah.
How sweet a moment is this for you today? Because this season you've not been first choice every time. How sweet is this moment? I think that says it all.
It's a very intelligent question, this is, yeah.
So what now then? Because this Inter Toto is completely gone. You have a good rest, come back, and where can Chelsea go on to?
I tell you what, now I'm going to have a great holiday. Great holiday. That's what I'm going to have.
Okay, well done today, Robbie.
Thanks, Ben.
He didn't need to answer that question, did he?
No, he didn't. I was just saying, looking at them.
Out here, Tony.
When you can look at that Chelsea side, I mean, they're going into the UEFA Cup. They could go on and win that next season, quite comfortably. I mean, they had a great run in the Champions League. That would be something, again, like what Paul Merson was saying about the Villa, how they're sort of still trying to play catch-up with the major players in the Premier League. Chelsea in the UEFA Cup next season could go on and win that. Don't be surprised if they do.
Dennis Wise is where to talk to us again. Let's go and hear from Dennis.
Dennis, you've had the lap of honour. Has it sunk in now?
Yes, it has. I think it's nice to win something like this. It's a wonderful day, especially the fact it's the last time it's going to be played at this ground. And it's a wonderful occasion for the club, really.
Special day for Henry, wasn't it, as well?
It was, yeah. I wanted to take my little boy. It never may not happen again, you know. I'm getting on a bit, so I thought I'd take him up and maybe one day show him the photo, which would be nice.
It's a lovely moment. How important is it that Chelsea now are in Europe?
It's very important for the club financially. We knew it at the start of the game that this was our last route to UEFA, and very important for us as well because we'd done okay in Europe and we needed to be in it again.
Did you think it might not go for you when your goal was disallowed and George Weah missed?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate really. I didn't think I was offside, and I spoke to Jeff.
No, you weren't?
No, I didn't think I was. So I was very unlucky with that, but fortunately we won, which was nice. I thought second half we played a lot better than them and probably just edged it, and it was nice to see Roberto, after missing him for so long, come back and score.
Was there any reason for the second half performance being so much better than the first?
I think it's just at first it's a little bit of tension, you know, it does get to people and you try to do what you want to do but it don't come off. At the second half we set our stall out and we got about them and played a lot better.
People have said this team will break up now. Is there more chance it might stick together?
I don't think it will break up myself. Maybe one or two might go. That's about it. I can't see many going. Myself, I know Lucas wants to get us lot together, and he knows he's got a good bunch of players here that can achieve things like they showed today.
Dennis, well played. You're the AXA man of the match. Can I bring in Andy Homer, the chief executive of AXA Insurance, to make the presentation?
On behalf of AXA, congratulations. Well
Thank you
done.
very much. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.
Well done, Captain. And Alison Hunt from Falmouth wins the replica jersey today, so well done, Alison. Still not finished yet. Plenty of reaction from Wembley to come, where Chelsea have won the FA Cup thanks to Roberto Di Matteo. Just the one goal, but what a priceless goal from Chelsea's point of view. It was Chelsea's day at Wembley Stadium. Roberto Di Matteo's goal separating the two teams. Chelsea 1, Aston Villa 0. Chelsea, of course, qualify for the UEFA Cup as of right. It's the Intertoto Cup now for Aston Villa. Graham Souness and Andy Townsend have been with us all afternoon. Time for some considered thought, gentlemen. Graham, for you, where did Chelsea win it?
They stepped it up a bit in the second half, and the better players won the day. You keep possession on this pitch, you make the opposition run around, you make them chase shadows, and that's what they did in the second half. First half, it was eatsy-peatsy. There were, the two lads, Taylor and the Dutchman in midfield, Boateng, worked extremely hard to stop Chelsea playing, but you can only do that for so long. And the better players will always win the day out there because they can keep the ball and make you work and make you run around. And ultimately they passed them out of it, and there was only going to be one winner in the second half.
Would it be fair to say that Villa didn't come with enough guile, Andy? There wasn't enough craft or cleverness in their team?
They haven't really got an awful lot of that in their team. I think they've been resilient. When I was saying before the game, the reason why they've had some good results, they've been very resilient and they've relied heavily on Dion scoring goals when he's been fit. And today they needed a special performance from people like Paul Merson, and Paul showed in fits and starts what he's capable of, but they never dictated the game for long enough, and certainly from the second half onwards they were always on the back foot, the Villa, and they only ever looked then that they was going to do something from a set piece.
That Villa team set out. He's picked his team to win Premier League games, and they do very well in the Premier League, where it's up and at 'em style, 100% effort, the grind, the hard work, everything that goes with winning a game in the Premier League. Wembley's a different ball game. Wembley's about keeping the ball. Hot sunny May. You've got to keep the ball. You cannot keep giving the ball away. And you're looking at, without being cruel on Aston Villa's team, where is the real imagination in their team? You would certainly say Merson's got that, Carboni's got that.
But two players, they didn't. I mean, what is it? Just under 3 hours ago, they were stepping out now, full of hope, of course. But those Chelsea, two, they didn't get on the ball enough.
No, but Chelsea's got how many players you would say with real flair and real imagination? And that was what separated them.
Carboni in particular, I think, was disappointing. I mean, he did have a great opportunity there, second half. When
yes, and amongst everything that's gone on, we've forgotten that he did.
Yeah, he did have a hell of a chance there, but he didn't really get involved enough to make an impact.
He's always going past him as well, isn't he? He's always going to go past him. That's a great strike. Fortunately for David James, he's in the right place. An easy catch. I'm a big fan of Dennis Wise's, but I have to disagree with the man of the match selection. I thought Desai didn't do anything wrong in 90 minutes.
Or his mate, LeBeuf was terrific too, wasn't he?
But Desai was immense. You know, he's the one that's going to throw his body.
I think one of the things Villa will be disappointed with as well, Richard, is Graham mentioned it just now, that I don't think Ed De Hoy actually had to get his hands on any sort of effort, really. First half, you know, perhaps the Villa lads could say the same. David James had an awful lot to do. The second half, when they started coming into it, you could tell they were creating chances like this one. But certainly, I don't remember Ed De Hoy having to make any sort of a save, and that's always disappointing when you're looking back and you're thinking, well, we've not really worked their keeper.
That was disallowed, of course. That was Dennis Wise scoring. Not offside, but beyond him, George Weah was. Would you have given it?
I think the linesman made.
I would have given it.
Given the decision or the goal?
I would have given the goal.
No, I think the linesman made the right decision. I would have been disappointed with it.
You know, hard one to call. The linesman on the opposite side of the pitch. Hard one to call, but technically he wasn't that person.
It's Weah, isn't it? He doesn't score.
Yeah.
But does the ball come back into an area where he might? I mean,
if you can imagine what the linesman's seeing from that side, Richard, he's seeing a little ruck of bodies there very close to it, even though we've got the benefit from there, seeing clearly Dennis sticking it in. George. And it was at this spell, wasn't it? No, they were now starting to...
It's only going to happen.
It was always coming. Yeah, it was. It was gradually they were wearing them down. And it wasn't just through hit and hope stuff. They were measuring their way through and they were gradually carving them open.
Start the second time.
That's the run where it all started.
This is your right back in that position.
The right and left back were linking up down here. They were.
You get your right back in the outside left position. And James will get criticism for it, but it's a really good ball. It's played in with pace, and there's a lot of bodies in there. Desai gets across the front of the goalkeeper.
I mean, it hits Gareth Southgate on the chest and pops right down in front of Robbie Di Matteo, who smashes it in ever so well. If you look from this angle, I mean, the way the ball's going, if it doesn't hit Gareth, it bobs down and he can fall on that then, David James, and he's got it in his arms.
Oh yeah, that's a bit angle. So something come through people. If he doesn't come for it, people will say he should have come for it. It's one of them. Give credit to Zola because it's a quality ball in. And when the ball's played in with that much quality, it's a really, really difficult ball to defend. You know, it's played in with, it's flat, it's with pace, and there's lots of bodies in there.
Chance, half chance.
Yeah, that was
it.
That's got to come back across the goals, and I'm sure, I don't know what. If Hugo was going for the far post there, it's the wrong decision for me. He's got to go back across the goals.
This is unlucky.
Did he have a blame there, Dion?
No,
it flashed him. The ball was coming through bodies. He didn't see it till late. The defender's got the wrong side of him. No blame attached to it.
Why is he nearly threw the little up in the air and held the cup there for a minute? I thought that's what he was going to do. You can't say they didn't deserve it. No, they did deserve it. They were the better side second half and bossed the game.
You know, it was a typical big game, a typical cup final where they felt each other in the first half. Everybody's frightened to make the mistake. Everyone's frightened to do anything too clever, try anything too cute. We're frightened to make that mistake. And then in the second half, the best team came into it and won the game deservedly. They stepped up the tempo. The passing was more accurate. I keep coming back to the passing one. Keep coming back to not giving the ball away. And that's what good teams will do to you. If you keep giving them the ball, they're going to get at you. They'll hurt you. And Chelsea have, you know, we talk about Villa only having 2 or 3 players with real flair and imagination. Chelsea's maybe got 6 or 7 in their team.
David James has come out to talk to us. Here he is with Nick Collins.
David, commiserations. Even more painful than 96, losing again?
It's never good. And the good thing about our team is we are, how can I say, we're a group of friends, you know. And as much as, you know, individual mistakes perhaps cost us the game, I think as a team we will overcome it, and you know we'll be a better side.
You feel this side will overcome this and be better still?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've got to take the positives out of it. The fact we're here is one. And I've been on record as saying I'd rather lose in the third round than in the final. But at the same time, I think because of our cup run, our side has actually grown in stature. Even at 1-0 down, I think we still believe we can get something out of the game. Disappointing thing is we didn't. But as I say, we have improved, and I think we can only get stronger from it.
How do you reflect on the goal?
It went in.
Do you feel you should have held it?
I took my eye off it, and you know, it's a silly mistake, and it's gone in. There's There's not a lot I can say about it.
An honest assessment, but I mean, overall, you've had a terrific season. Let's not forget that. Your penalty save's got Villa here.
Actually, the goal's got us here. The penalty save stops us from going out. Yeah, the season's been good. I mean, as I say, I reflect on the season as a whole. I think it's disappointing losing here. We've got the England squad to go to next week, and it's work as usual as such. And I've got to get back into doing the right things, But as I say, I can't take anything away from the season. It would have been nice to win today, and as I say, it's thoroughly disappointing that we haven't. But at the same time, looking at the whole picture, I think it's been a positive season.
For you, after losing 2 finals, can it be third time lucky one day, do you believe?
We'll have to get there first.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's not good. Neither have been good, but that's football, unfortunately. Someone's got to win, someone's got to lose, and if it had been the best goal in the whole world, I still wouldn't have been as happy. Still wouldn't be happy now. So put things in perspective. Got to get on.
All right. Hey, listen. Thanks for your time, David. Appreciate you talking to us. Thank you very much, mate. And I hope
Very difficult for him. He plainly blames himself, doesn't he? But the more you hear from the guy and the more you see him, the more impressed you have to be by him, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I think what he's endured in his career, and he's still relatively young, certainly as a goalkeeper. He's been through an awful lot, and I don't think that'll. Obviously tonight he's going to be very disappointed in the next few days, but he'll bounce back from that now. I think mentally he's a much stronger guy. And
collectively he's saying that Villa will learn from it, get stronger as a result of it, and maybe bounce back.
I hope so. I mean, because it's a club I have a lot of affection for, and I sincerely hope they do. Still going to need some more quality players. They still need more quality in there when it matters on days like today here.
You feel for the goalkeeper, Graham, don't you?
Yeah, I know him personally. He's a smashing lad. He won't be happy, but I think you're right in saying he's going to be a better player for it. He's going to be a better goalkeeper for it. Part of football life is taking the knocks, and unless you get some knocks, you're never really going to test your character. Now he's had some tests up till now which have made him better. He's not gone downhill since he's left Liverpool. He's actually gone up the way. He's now a better goalkeeper, and after today he'll be better again.
Is it helpful that it's business as usual for him, that he's away with England next week?
He's straight back into it. His mind will be taken off it rather than have the summer to dwell on it. But he's not happy now, but he'll look back on it and he'll learn from it, and he'll come back a stronger character.
They've spent some money, Villa. Do you agree with Andy? There's more to come yet if they want to join the elite 3 or 4?
Yeah, they're very workmanlike. That's the first thing you have to have. Our league is very competitive. You must be workmanlike. But I think you saw today the difference in class at the end of the day. I don't want to be cruel to Villa, because they've got a lot going for them. We've got some players there that most managers in the Premier League would kill for in terms of their work rate and their enthusiasm and their professionalism. But when it came to the very highest level, which the final of the FA Cup is, the cutting edge wasn't there. And to get that, you have to get the blend. You have to get the players who can work like they've got, but has also got the killer pass, a little bit of cuteness at the end of the day, a bit of dribble, a bit of imagination, something cute that's going to be the difference on days like today.
And what about Chelsea, who are obviously tetchy about some of the criticism that's been thrown in their direction, but it was the quarter-finals of the European Cup. It was 5th place, and that wasn't good enough by their standards. But they have won the FA Cup now. What have they got to add to go on again?
Well, it's going to be an interesting summer for Chelsea. Gianluca's gone on record as saying he's going to try and get more English players in, because English players understand, as he put it, going to Sheffield Wednesday on a wet, windy night and going somewhere else.
He's got a £10 million who didn't even make the 16 in Chris Sutton.
Where are they? Where are the best English ones are at the big clubs, and how are you going to get them? And I don't think Chelsea will be in that situation to be going out and spending the kind of money they've spent in recent years. It's going to be an interesting summer for Chelsea.
They have got a reputation. They have won a reputation for being a good cup side. Can they go on again?
Well, yeah, I think they can. I certainly think they can. As you say, they've got the UEFA Cup now to look forward to. I think next year in the Premier League, still think there's some delicate fine-tuning to be done with Chelsea somewhere along the line. They have got so much going for them, and yet somewhere along the way, they've got to stop going to Southampton midweek and not coming away with 3 points.
It hurts them that the league, the Premier League, anyone can win a cup. Not any ordinary team can win the Premier League. You win the Premier League, you're a very special team. That's why United deserve all the credit going at the moment. They don't just win it, they win it every bloody year. Recent history. They are the team that everyone must look at. To win a cup, you can have a bit of luck on the day, the draw can be kind to you, you can the team you're playing against has got a few injuries. That's winning a cup. There's a lot of luck involved in a cup. There's no luck involved in winning the Premier League.
No.
You are the best team if you win the Premier League.
I just wonder sometimes if you have so many foreign players in your camp, I wonder if there is, something in that.
Well, you tell us.
Well, I just think that if you have too many of them in there sometimes, I don't know, I think on the big occasions like today, you will see them sort of players. We've seen Frank Leboeuf's been under pressure all week. There's been a bit of criticism aimed at him that he might be on his way or whatever, and yet he's played excellently here today. I don't know, sometimes if you do have too many of them in there, perhaps now that's why,
They don't
Luca
understand the
Vialli
English
said...
culture that you do have to go to Southampton, Coventry...
I'm sure they understand it, Richard,
out.
but it's whether or not they're capable of doing it. I don't know. They've got undoubted class. They're going right through the camp, Chelsea. I mean, they are fabulous.
I think the big difference on the continent, and in all the leagues, and maybe Real Madrid and Barcelona would argue with them, people in Milan would argue with them, but I think in most leagues throughout Europe, when the fixtures come out, the top teams can say, that's going to be an easy game, that's going to be an easy game, that's going to be... They might be able to pick half a dozen games where they say, well, we'll be fine there. Manchester United can't do that in this league. No one can do it in this league. It's a British way. We are more competitive. Every game is important to us. There's no throwing the towel in by Watford when they go to Old Trafford. There's no easy games for the top teams, and it's a bulldog spirit, whatever you want to call it, but we are different. Our players are different.
I think as well, when you're trying to compare them with United, I mean, all of the United players, probably bar Dennis Irwin, are all at their peak or approaching their peak. Sort of 24s, 25s, 26s, Roy Keane sort of 29. I think you look at the Chelsea lads, they've had 60 odd games here today. Whether it's an excuse, whether I'm looking for somebody else, I don't know, but I think that they have a lot of guys just over the 30 mark, 32, 33. Maybe they need to find 2 or 3 real top class younger guys who are going to be the answer on those nights at Sheffield and well, not at Sheffield this year. Sorry lads, but you know what I'm saying.
Know what you mean. Let's find out what we're going to be reading in tomorrow's Sunday newspapers. Claire Tomlinson's been amongst the press. Question was, did Chelsea deserve to win it?
I think on their second half performance, certainly the first half was desperate. Neither side had any kind of flow or passing. It was broken up in midfield by a lot of sort of harsh tackling. But certainly Chelsea came out in the second half. They looked far more inventive of the teams, and they looked as if they were the only side who actually looked capable of winning it.
Great disappointment today for Aston Villa.
It is. I just feel sorry for all these people here. It's just been a great season for them. From mid-season, when the team were really struggling, they've come back so well. But I think on the day they just haven't performed, and there will be a great sense of disappointment, maybe just a resignation that weren't quite good enough on the day.
Chelsea were just a better side. Very difficult game, very tight. Villa made it hard for Chelsea, but in the end, unfortunately, it took a mistake to give them their goal.
Well, it was lovely to see all the kids going up at the end. It's a fantastic sight. But the day was about experience. When Chelsea scored, the experienced players kept the ball. Desai at the back, I thought, was man of the match. Zola started playing. He was terrific, kept hold of the ball. Frank Leboeuf made some important clearances. Poirier as well. So it was a day for kids at the end, but it was experience that won it.
So, Brian, what sort of a day have you made of today?
I think when you look back at the history books, Claire, it'll say Chelsea won the last FA Cup final at Wembley. It won't say it was a bad game, and it wasn't a great occasion that we'd hoped for, but I think what you'll remember it for is the crowd's reaction to Chelsea winning, the players with their kids on the pitch, and it was a very happy occasion. And I don't think anyone will look back and say, well, it was a bad game. And I think Chelsea will look back on it as a match that saved their season.
And we did enjoy seeing the youngsters out there on the pitch as well, didn't we? Why not?
Very good. Oh, absolutely. As Graham said, it's a fantastic occasion, and the families are getting more and more involved now, and that's great.
Absolutely right. Here's John Gregory.
John, would it be hard to express how much that hurts today?
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's difficult to even speak at the moment, George. But I'm very proud of the players, very proud of everyone associated with our club. There wasn't a great deal between the two teams today. And unfortunately we just didn't quite have enough.
Do you know why it didn't work for you, especially in the second half?
No, not particularly. We put enormous amount of effort into the first period. I thought we did exceptionally well during that time, but we just couldn't get that goal. We just couldn't get ahead. We had quite a few set pieces, corners, etc. A lot of pressure on the Chelsea goal. We didn't get a break, and they did.
David James has been a bit hard on himself. Would you be critical of him for the goal?
He got us to the final. He has done unbelievable things this season to get us in this position in the first place. The semi-final, he was outstanding and got us into this final. and certainly no criticism can be placed to anybody in that situation.
Only one place between you and the league, but is there a gulf you have to bridge in terms of quality of squad for next season?
No, I think you've seen today. We've played Chelsea 3 times this season. We lost the first game at Stamford Bridge with an own goal, and we've done exceptionally well today, I think. We just didn't quite have enough in front of their goal. We didn't threaten their goal often enough. I don't think David's made one save from Dennis Wise from about 35 yards. Other than that, really, they haven't caused us any problems in and around our goal. But as I said, they got the break. We didn't quite do enough in the last third of the pitch, which has really been the story of our season so far.
John, thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you, John. I always appreciate that when a manager's been beaten and feels like that's difficult coming out to face the cameras. A message for Villa fans, Andy, in the West Midlands.
Well, I think that they can take, as you say, they can take heart from actually getting here. But I hope that they're now going to go on. I hope that John gets funds. I hope he gets money to spend and keep adding to the squad and keep chipping away. And hopefully one day they'll get back here and next time win it.
On a congratulatory note for Chelsea, Graham, what would you say to them?
They were the better team today. I think the first half it was all about cancelling each other out. Second half, sorry to repeat myself, but it was all about keeping the ball and making the other team run around. And Chelsea did that to Villa in the second half and caused them real problems in the second half. And the best team did win.
And they got tired in the heat, didn't they?
The best team did win.
Under the lights, 1 or 2. Listen, thanks both very much. Andy, Graham, appreciate it very much indeed. Plenty of sport to come tonight across 4 Sky Sports channels. Over on 1 next. It's the football phone-in. You're on Sky Sports and it's your chance to have your say on today's final. It's followed at 7:30 by our Spanish football special, How the League Was Won. And at 10, there's more late-night wrestling in WWF SmackDown. It's golf on 2 tonight. Coming up next, highlights of today's play from the Deutsche Bank SAP Open, followed at 8 o'clock by live coverage from the US Tour. It's day 3 of the MasterCard Colonial. On 3 next, there's live horse racing from Hexham and Wolverhampton. At 8:30, cricket highlights, the 3rd day of the first test between England and Zimbabwe. And at 9:30, live horse racing from Baltimore in the USA. It's the 2nd leg of the Triple Crown, the Preakness Stakes. And for Sky Digital viewers on Sky Sports Extra now, there's live Test cricket. It's the 3rd day of the 2nd test between the West Indies and Pakistan. All that tonight across 4 Sky Sports channels. Well, this was the last FA Cup final at Wembley. We wondered who would write a page in history. It turned out to be Chelsea, who won here by a 0-0. It really was a blue day. From all of us here, thanks for your company. Bye-bye for now.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. Pardon the way that I stare. There's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. Baby, It's too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.
A hybrid with a master plan.
You see, we are brothers out there.
Football today is more than just a game. It's a glamorous multi-billion-pound industry, attracting top-class players and audiences around the world.